It's time for Pucknology. Pucknology. After dark. After dark. Oh my.
Oh my, what a day for Team Teal. All day, all night, and we're just going to weasel our way through another Pucknology After Dark, folks. Yes. So, basically, if you think the weasel jokes are going away tonight, no way whatsoever.
You're not weaseling out of that easily.
No, because that would be so provincially insulting, but whatever. We don't at least don't have a fake hairdo and whatever you want to call it. But that's beside the point. We'll get into all of that a little bit later. That from that piece of crap reporter. But welcome to Pucknology After Dark. We are your Sharks post-game show. If you want to be a part of our show, because you love hockey and that's what you like to do, especially Sharks hockey, use the hashtag Pucknology After Dark to ask questions or comments. You can follow us on Twitter. Tonight you have yours truly, PuckGuy14, Eric Landy, Chris JWS, and J Alexander 46. You can also join us in the YouTube chat. Hello, YouTube chatters. We will take your questions and comments along the way and go on from there because we got plenty to talk about tonight. Holy crap, do we have something to talk about tonight. All right. With me tonight, of course, is Chris JWS.
What's up, you damn weasel?
Yeah, whatever. The guy who spells his name the right way. Oh, there's some laundry over there, so we must have won. Eric Landy.
Dude, I guess I just gotta keep laundry consistently behind me, because I think we win every time I have laundry.
Let's put it this way: at this rate, you might need to buy new clothes for the playoffs, just so you have dirty ones out there as it keeps growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, maybe.
And Ian reads, Pucknology After Dark's teddy bear, Gentry Alexander.
Sorry, the call on the ice stands. We have a win.
You know how many times I watched that today on Twitter? It's just unreal.
What is it with the Sharks? Within the past couple days, the Sharks have between the goal announcement and TSN or TSN top 1040 just going off on Pavelski for no reason. I mean, the Sharks are in the headlines. And I don't want this because I want the Sharks to go under in a kind of I want them to go incognito into the playoffs.
We'll definitely touch on that a little bit
later. Yeah.
Just because and AJ brought this up tonight. We're starting to wonder if maybe there's a trend with certain somebody, and we wonder if that 4-goal, cock-a-doodle-doo comment from Joe Thornton came out from the same person. But we'll get into that a little bit later. First, let's talk about the game at hand. Sharks win 4-1. Logan Couture finally gets his first NHL hat trick. I think he had 21 multi-goal games. He finally gets it done. Landy, good evening to you. Let's get loco.
Oh yeah. As Randy was saying, it was into a empty net, but who cares? It's a hattie for teeth. You know what? It was very, very well deserved, and you know what? Everybody was feeling the warm and fuzzies because Logan has had such a up and down season this year with the injury, and then the second injury, and the up and down play. But you know what? It's good for him because it'll give him a really high mark going into the playoffs. It'll get him feeling good. It'll get the team, kind of rallying right behind him. Those two or three really, horrible games that we saw out of the Sharks have kind of gone into the rear view mirror. And you know what? This team is starting to truck along. And it was interesting that nobody has really called out, but the Sharks have gone back to the four-headed Hydra monster of Couture at center, Marlowe at center, Thornton at center, and Tierney at center. And coincidentally, they've won both of those games. They've gone back to that configuration. So, Peter DeBoer, stop screwing with that. It's good.
Yeah, no, precisely. Chris, hello to you, good sir. we got to talk about this nasty 5-minute power play that was just not pretty. But
Ooh.
but they got one back on the 5-on-3 tonight, so the power play, I guess, made up for it. You think? Well, I mean, what are your thoughts of the special teams?
Yeah, that first power play, I said it before. Sometimes when the Sharks get the power play, especially the long ones, I think they kind of go, oh, okay, exhale, relax for a minute, and like, no, this is the time you go pedal to the metal. You got the opportunity. So I mean, they did make up for it somewhat at the end there when they had a pretty strong power play. I think it was 6 shots between the 5-on-3 and the 4 on and the 5-on-4. So they made up for it somewhat. I mean, the beginning of the game overall was a little bit weak. Uh, it started slow. I mean, I was giving them a hard time, talking about it, but I realized then again, 24 hours ago, they played the most intense game they played all season, clinching a playoff spot. So you know what? I can understand why they'd be tired today.
Oh, definitely.
Precisely, and that's what I was just going to say to Gentry. Good evening to you, good sir. They did look a little tired. I know they threw a lot of energy to beating LA last night and finally clinching, but they seemed like they were a little tired coming into tonight. And I know they had a quick turnaround to travel up there, and now they're going to be coming back down, but they just seemed a little tired, and it didn't wake up, I think, until they got that tying goal from Vancouver.
Yeah, and I think that was a weak one to give up. You have a 5-minute power play and you give up a shorty, and you don't really answer back until later on when you get the 5-on-3. So, I mean, I guess that we're gonna beat this joke to death, but the Sharks weasel to win tonight. So, and led by our captain, the biggest weasel of them all. So, but you know what? But good teams find ways of winning even when they don't play well. So kudos to the Sharks. I mean, they found a way to win, and they should have won this game because, sorry, but Vancouver sucks.
Well, there's a lot of things that suck about Vancouver right now, but
Other than their media.
other than their media, although I will say, like I said, B&H, I do love their midday show on TSN 1040. It was actually their morning show that broke out the whole thing. But really quickly, guys, Joel Ward sat out tonight. We kind of mentioned it early on, and in fact, I'll even say Puck Mom actually noticed this when we were at the game against Edmonton last week, that Joel Ward wasn't moving as quickly as he usually is, and he got scratched tonight. Do you tend to, and I was thinking about this, do you think there will be some like rotating, quote unquote, healthy scratches for some of these guys as we go down the road the rest of the way?
Yeah, definitely to finish out the season. I mean, I just looked it up. Joe Ward's age 35. I don't think we'll be seeing like Marlowe or Thornton rested unless they're injured or something, but it wouldn't surprise me, I mean, we're going to definitely see rest, obviously, for Jones, but Ward's probably a good candidate for that. Maybe Martin, I don't know, depending on how everything shakes out. But
No, I think
manage smartly. Like, don't have to like pack it in, but don't overextend it.
No, I think the guy for me that probably needs to have the most rest is Dinas Zubaris. He's the oldest on the team. He's really cemented that fourth line role and really helped Chris Tierney develop and just kind of give it a little bit of stability down there. And he's pretty old, so seeing him in for Smalling would be good. Getting a couple tune-up games for Nieto and Vlasic whenever they get healthy would be a really good thing. I think right now you've got the team going when you've got that four-headed monster down the center. You keep that, but just interchange the wings. We've seen the Couture-Donskoy chemistry really emerge. Keep them two together, but you can rotate a wing like Wingles or Ward or Nieto on that line. And the same thing with Patty. Patty and Carlson seem to have a pretty good thing going right now. So I think it's a good it's a good thing to kind of keep them fresh, and also when injuries arise, they won't have a problem playing with different centers. All these different wingers adapting to different centers, because that there's going to be some kind of injury come playoffs, whether it be Dustin Brown taking out somebody's knee or whatever. So
Yeah. One thing we haven't mentioned yet is part of the reason why the Sharks had a 5-minute power play, and that was rookie Jake Virtanen a little too frustrated that Pollock essentially skated by and knocked his stick out of his hand. He received a 5-minute interference major in a game misconduct.
talk about an angry weasel.
You mad, bro?
Yeah, you mad, bro? Because, dude, I think Haley just convinced everybody he'll be back in the lineup on Thursday night, and I hope Virtanen's ready for what's coming to him. Unfortunately.
But do you think the league's going to look at that? Because it looked like a dirty hit to me. So.
Well, first things first is that it was way late. The puck was like not even in the zone. I think when Virtanen went out.
Yeah, way late, blindside, and elbow to the head. Like that's got to merit at least one game, if not 3 to 5. I don't know what his status as an offender is, and what the exact policy is. Ian probably knows, but I'm guessing at least a few games.
No, I think he's a young player. I don't think he really has that much of a history, but the league really takes a good look at retribution hits. That's one thing that this league does get right, is the retribution hit. They don't like it when a guy comes in, and really skates after somebody that took out and did something egregious. I mean, look at that that hit from Darnell Nurse, or several hits. I mean, that was a retribution thing, and the league, they let the heat of the passion kind of thing go, and it's kind of touch and go whether or not you get a suspension during the heat of the moment. But boy, you have a few seconds to think about it, and he thought, I'm going to get one over on this guy. I'm going to give him a good looking, and you know what? I think that's at least a 2 game. It's probably a 2 to 3 game in my book.
Yeah, Ian says since he's rookie, he probably gets a phone hearing. Yeah, and I think, though, a couple games probably is about right.
No, I agree. If it's more than 3 games, I think it's actually a little ridiculous, to be honest. I can't see them doing anything else from that. But the camera clearly showed that he was going right after him. He wasn't playing the puck. He wasn't playing anything. The puck was clearly away from Pollock, and he went after him. Thankfully, Pollock finished the game, but you're going to have something that they're going to need to look at in the Department of Player Safety. The other one, too, was Sedin had an incident with Wingles again on a board that kind of set things up for the 5-on-3 and the Couture goal. And I hate to mention this, but Sedin was the one who boarded Wingles that caused him to go to the penalty box in overtime, that set up the Sharks' series-winning goal against Vancouver in 2013.
So real quick here, actually, sorry to interrupt, but Rocket pointed this out in the chat. Actually, Jake Virtanen has actually been suspended before 2 games back in September, so he actually does have a rap sheet. Not a very long one, but that might actually, I would say at this point, he almost guarantees suspended 2 or 3 games, maybe more.
Now, Rocket's saying she's wrong. She's dead wrong. Mayor of Wrongville, apparently. Interesting. But nonetheless,
Rocket, did you steer me wrong?
She did.
He just did me wrong.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to tell him. No. It's funny because notice it's a little bit of a delay when the chatters see our show, so they're not all coming on in there. But anyways, yeah. So still, there's going to be a hearing, I would think, and if not, oh my goodness, it could be really ugly, and that might be the last thing the Sharks need on Thursday night.
It's
No,
okay. We just send Haley after them.
yeah, I mean that's straight up bullshit. And if the Vancouver media does anything to say that it wasn't just straight up bullshit, then you know what, shame on them, because those guys, they have their heads so far up their butts. I mean, they're off in La La Land thinking at the beginning of the year that Vancouver was going to be some kind of contender, and just, look at where they're at. Look at where they're at. And I feel sorry for Vancouver fans, because their media paints them as pretty stupid. If we're gauging their media to be, the voice of their fan base, then it's not pretty.
You are what you consume. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They are pretty stupid.
I'm trying to put up the standings, and I don't know if this is happening to everybody else, but the NHL.com is stuck showing 3-1 with 25 seconds left.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we have 92 points, correct?
Yes, we have 92 points. TSN has the full updated stats, so that's where I'm going.
Okay, we'll have to
Yeah, ESPN has been lagging behind because they haven't even registered the hat trick for Couture, so...
Yeah, and Zach Croft mentioning, and hello, Zach, to you, sir. Apparently, there were no hats thrown, obviously so in Vancouver tonight. But according to AJ through former TSN 1040 host Matt Baker, there were a number of Sharks fans in attendance in Vancouver tonight, and one of the great places I've always wanted to go to is Vancouver. So hopefully I'll get up there and enjoy the Sortiness John Shorthouse on the Canucks Radio Network.
Oh, dude.
Oh, God. No more Kermit, damn it. I cannot wait till the season series is over. We can have less Kermit the Frog.
We got one more game of John Shorthouse.
It's not easy being green, is it?
It's not easy being green.
So AJ just asked us via Twitter, is ESPN using the same internet connection as Puck Guy?
Hashtag space-time continuum.
It only took like 17 minutes in the show to get an AOL joke in.
There we go.
Right.
Hey, it's the AOL jokes. They're the gifts that keep on giving.
Oh, boy. All right, well, we're going to get to this. We might as well do this right now. All right, so now, like I always said, whenever we're playing Vancouver, me and AJ will always suggest turning it to TSN 1040 for their comprehensive pregame coverage. And apparently I didn't see it until after we sent out the tweets about it, but it was a little after 10 o'clock that Randy Hahn, of course, as many of you know, at Shark Voice on Twitter, mentioned on Twitter that he was on as a guest on the Bro Jake morning show, and in following that, it was a former reporter for the Province, Tony Gallagher, basically calling out Joe Pavelski and questioning his leadership. I will say this, as I'm pulling this up, it's quite interesting that and on tsn.ca, and on a personal level, Tony says he'd hate to see Burrows move along, thinks the world of him as a person. Yes, as many of you know, during game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final in 2011, yes, Burrows tried to bite Patrice Bergeron. Well, that kind of sets up everything as Tony Gallagher was talking about the Sharks and the leadership roles for San Jose. Here's Tony Gallagher on the Bro Jake Show on TSN 1040 earlier this morning. It'll probably help if I took out the headphones. There we go. Here we go. Here's Tony Gallagher on TSN 1040.
Being the leader there, because I can't believe that little weasel Joe Pavelski is leading anybody. I find that hard to believe. I know he's the captain. I know he's got the same number of points as Joe Thornton, but man, oh man, I've never been impressed with his personality. It just might be me personally. I couldn't follow him anywhere. In terms of leadership ability, I think Thornton still has a prominent role.
Oh,
sure.
Heart and soul.
Yeah, well, definitely, and especially after the hassles they had last year, and with the change of coach and so on, with the new coach come in, for Thornton to reestablish himself right up there at top of team scoring. There is no question that Pavelski may have the C, but I think that Thornton is right there in terms of leadership. Sure, Pavelski's had a lot of goals, a lot of big goals for him, but Joe's had a lot of big assists, and I think they're probably co-leaders right now. I just find that Pavelski's personality would really preclude him really leading man anywhere. But
yeah, so essentially, Joe Pavelski can't lead any men to anything, according to this idiot. We're gonna go around the room and let's try to stay on target here because I think a lot of us are wanting to go off on it. Landy, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on Tony Gallagher's comments about the quote-unquote weasel Joe Pavelski.
Oh boy. I guess my first comment is that is the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, you look at the number of different players that the Vancouver Canucks have deployed over the years, whether it be Kessler, whether it be Bieksa, whether it be the Sedins, whether it be Bertuzzi, whether it be other people. I mean, it's just mind-boggling that these characters who have had such a history of Burroughs have had such a history of employing these kinds of players that they're going to go out and they're going to say that the captain of the team, the motor of the team, is a problem, is a weasel. Joe Pavelski has done nothing but be friendly to the media, answer every single question that they have, even if it's a stupid question. Has come out and always stepped up. He's never shied away. He's always told it like it is. Sure, he gives you some cliche answers, but what athlete doesn't? If their standard of not being a weasel is Kessler, then you know what? I guess Pavelski is, because they must have the most Canucky teal or Canucky colored glasses I have ever seen.
Gentry?
I think in terms of Gallagher's comments, this is my quick review on it. We have an idiot! Because honestly, what really you're gonna call that to Joe Pavelski? I look at Joe Pavelski's whole career, and has he ever been mired in controversy of any kind? Have there ever been, reports of him, being a prima donna on the ice, not, always, just being an overall dick to the fans? No. He doesn't have, he is, even before he was captain, he was leading this team. And I go to a lot of captain skates, and a lot of Sharks practices, and Joe Pavelski is the guy on the team that will come out and he will take pictures with the fans, he will sign autographs, and he never looks like he could be anywhere else. He's always there to talk to the fans. He is a good representation of what a leader should be on and off the ice. He's leading the team, and in goals, he does provide a huge, and he's the Swiss Army knife. He represents everything that should be represented in teal. Why are we calling him a weasel? Honestly, I'm at a loss, because Joe Pavelski is, there's a reason we call him Captain America, because the guy is so pure that I honestly feel like he is just a unicorn because he does not exist.
All right. Chris JWS?
So it's good to see in Vancouver the lack of self-awareness extends off the ice. First they call the Sharks divers, and now this. It's just disrespectful. So I'm gonna take the low road, and I'm gonna comment on that guy's appearance. I mean, you saw the chat. They're like, "What are we looking at here? Oh my god!" Like, what is this guy's face? I mean, seriously. But seriously though, just what the hell? I mean, these guys already said it pretty well. What what the hell? Like I don't get it. I get that. Think sometimes Thornton doesn't get all the credit he deserves because he is a big part of this team, a big motor, and he's often in the background these days. I'll give him that, but at the expense of taking shots at Joe Pavelski, that's ridiculous. No, like they're both very important players on this team, and I think they both do lead. But calling him a weasel, come on, man.
Yeah, it's overall just beyond disrespectful. You don't see anybody going after who's another guy, um, Steven Stamkos because he hasn't scored much in the last 2 or 3 games. I mean, there's a level of respect around the NHL and the media, and if you don't have the respect, you're not going to be able to get access. And supposedly, if I've read through the lines correctly, this guy doesn't have access anymore, which tends to lead me to believe that whole 4-goal Joe Thornton comment, which of course happened in Vancouver and was leaked out by a Vancouver news organization, might have been this guy. And I
But
don't
that
know.
was the greatest moment ever, though. Like, if that was
Sure,
him, I thank him for that. That was
sure,
fantastic.
sure, but I mean, what's up his ass about the frickin' the San Jose Sharks? I mean, he can't be that bitter about having his team get swept by San Jose.
No, I think it all stems from the 2013 end of that series. The quote unquote soft call on the boarding penalty to win goals that led to that goal. I think Vancouver is still butthurt, and they're still butthurt over 2011, and they're still butthurt that they've won the President's Trophy twice in a row, and they've got dick for it. And when they got swept by the Kings, I think they just hate California in general. You gotta think that if they were playing the Kings tonight, he would have probably said something along those lines. But in all honesty, I probably would have agreed with him.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, the beginning of the end for them was getting curb stomped by the Kings and then getting curb stomped by the Sharks, and they've been pretty irrelevant ever since.
Yeah, they haven't been the same since. And eventually got stomped by Calgary too. So definitely a thing. I will say this. All right, damn it, AJ. I'm going to ask your question. If Pavelski is a weasel, what's Virtanen?
A rat.
I'll just go with a marmot.
Let's see, Vartan. I'm just gonna call him a bitch.
Wow. All right.
So, a female dog, okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, female dog. It's just kind of there.
Just remember, if you can play, you can play. That's all I'm going to put.
Exactly. We don't discriminate here in the NHL.
Against any species or anything, really.
But I mean, like let's be real here. I mean, I think this is just Vancouver, attacking California because they're the wannabe California of Canada. I mean, honestly, besides what do they have there that's of any significance?
I will say this: it is very picturesque. Vancouver is a very gorgeous city. It almost reminds me of San Francisco a little bit, only a little colder, per se, in the weather-wise. And it's a gorgeous city. Like I said, I would love to go to Vancouver one day to visit and for a game.
Oh no, I mean just on a hockey landscape. I mean, look. What has the Vancouver Canucks? I mean, what in British Columbia has won a Stanley Cup? I'm waiting. What happened when they lost their lost in the Stanley Cup final?
And it happened twice. They had a big old riot.
Right. And so it just goes to show you that they can give, but they can't take. It's like they're like that Dallas player, the last game who could just dish it out, but just could not take the repercussions.
Oh, Roussel.
Yeah.
Right. All right. I think
Straight up coward.
Right. I think Vancouver does have a cup from the Millionaires over 100 years ago, but and they have a great film industry, according to Chris Edwards, where he says, "Where do you think all those weird sci-fi movies are filmed?"
Oh, that explains the funny accents in space. I just figured that was an alien thing.
Oh, jeez. Now, let's not go there, guys. Let's try to be respectful. Let's not stoop to Vancouver's level. A couple of notes from the game tonight from our good friend Uncle Darren Stevens at Shark Stats on Twitter. Thornton's assist was also the 957th of his career, moving him past Mark Recchi into 14th on the NHL's all-time assist list. Of course, he had a point tonight, which means the Sharks won, and he now has a point in each of the last 30 wins the Sharks have played in. It's crazy, and it's for the 8th straight time in the regular season the Sharks win in Vancouver. They're the second team ever to do it. The Blues did it from '96 to 2000. That's a crazy stat. You throw in you throw in playoffs in 2013, and it's a long time since they've fallen apart. Kurz is tweeting. Kevin Kurz is tweeting that he doesn't see any supplementary discipline coming for Tannen. It was late. He got a 5 in a game. It didn't look high, and Polak is okay. If that's the case, he better keep his head up on Thursday night.
Really now, I would say that did look high to me, but maybe, I'm a little misguided.
Yeah, I guess we're just too, we just see things in a specific, tinted view.
Teal tinted glasses, perhaps.
Yeah,
it's true.
Oh no, I guess it just must be shit on us day, because I got told off in Reddit saying that I never contribute anything except for a link to our show. So, hey, you know what? I guess it's just everybody is just
hey
has
Landy,
something to say today.
Landy, I need you.
Oh.
You contribute something to my heart.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think your girlfriend should break up with you since you don't contribute enough to Reddit.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, that's serious business, man.
Yeah. Forget the fact that I talk a lot of Sharks prospects on there, but hey, you know what? Nobody wants to remember that. Anyhow,
I don't remember it.
Well, somebody's requesting it, so Slushy. This is John Shorthouse. You wanted to hear the John Shorthouse 30 minutes into the show, and so for your Slushy question, since the lockout, the Sharks have come back from a 3-goal lead.
Thank you, Jesus.
That needed to happen. It needed to happen. Okay, you can do it again without the Kermit voice.
Do I? It's not as fun though. All right. Your one question. Since the lockout, the Sharks have come back from a 3-goal.
Hey, you want to hear something really funny just before you start? Twitter has this who to follow little widget in the right-hand corner. You know who's number 1 in my who to follow list?
Tony Gallagher?
Tony Gallagher.
Oh, same here.
I guess it's just because it's whoever you mention, but it just Twitter. You make life so much fun.
Gosh. Of course.
It's like when Facebook tells you to be friends with your ex. Come on.
Yeah, no, that's not fun. Patrick4331 is asking if I can do the rest of the show as Kermit, though.
God, no!
Landy has the controls to eject Eric, and he will use them.
You know what? We finally have been gaining a lot of subscribers and viewers to the show.
I know.
We're not trying to lose them, all right? We need to keep the momentum going.
Just put it this way, guys.
The funny part is, as soon as Eric started doing that voice, we dropped off 5 viewers.
Of course. All right. Don't worry, guys. No more John Shorthouse. I promise. I'm working on my Jim Houston impression instead. All right. Moving on. So your one question: since the lockout, the Sharks have come back from a 3-goal lead going into the third period one time. Who was the opponent in the regular season? Was it L.A., Philly, or Pittsburgh?
I know. Actually, I'll let you guys go because I actually know the answer to this question.
It was Philly.
It was Philly.
It was
Yep.
Philly. Yep.
I
December.
watched that game.
It was December 8th, 2010. The Sharks were down 4-1 heading into third. Won the game 5-4 in a shootout.
And I know who scored in the shootout. It was Logan Couture and Ryan Clough.
Yep. I remember. Ooh, shoot, there goes my microphone. If I remember correctly, that was the game that Nitamaki was in, and Briere almost scored in overtime, but the clock had already
It's
hit
fine.
triple zeros. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a great game.
By like a tenth of a second, like one more tenth of a
Yeah.
second, that would have been in.
Mhm.
And that was and that was our taste against Bobrovsky.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right. Let's see. Moving on. Chester Chivo. Oh, jeez.
No, I do your laundry.
Yes, yes. All right. So, hey, guess what? We're playing the Canucks on Thursday.
Oh fuck, those guys again.
Those guys again, because we can't get enough of them in like a 32-day window. We got to play them a fifth time. This will finish the season series up.
So essentially, what we're saying is that after dark on Thursday, just rewatch this episode because it's probably going to be the same thing over and over again.
I mean, how many different ways can we say we hate the Canucks? Honestly,
As many different ways as we can say that we hate LA or Anaheim
I mean,
or the Capitals.
beat Vancouver doesn't roll off your tongue like beat LA though.
That's true.
And in Vancouver, it's like I don't hate them. I just find them hella annoying. Like LA, I pure straight up hate LA. I hate everything about that city, except maybe for some of the museums and some of my friends and family that live there. But other than that, I could do without LA.
Yes.
It's that 3-hour traffic window that sits between you and us. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, it's more like 4 hours on rush hour. So hey.
Well, unless you're going up 680 from San Jose to Pleasanton, that's a commute and a half if you're hitting it in rush hour northbound. Anyways, Lambo 540 tweeted to me, "Don't worry, guys. All of Canada hates Vancouver too." LOL.
it is true. If you don't follow them, LOL. I think it's LOL Vancouver or LOL Canucks fans on Twitter.
J Clark 5000 has started the hashtag FreePuckGuy14. and Hockey Jerk is saying, we need 2 more shorty impressions to make my poll results come true. And if you didn't see Hockey_Jerk, he put out a poll asking how many, or where was it? Crap, why can't I see it? Where is it?
If you can't find it, it wasn't meant to be.
No, I saw it. Shush. No, it was on tonight on Pucknology After Dark. How many times will Puck Guy 14 mention John Shorthouse? I think he meant for the how many times would I impersonate John Shorthouse? I believe right now the poll 6 votes in it was 4+, and apparently I guess I have only done it twice, so don't worry, it might sneak in there around.
Thank you. I just
Yeah,
I can't.
don't even. I had my
You're just like
I had my finger on the mute button.
I know how to lead this podcast. I can do it if I have to.
Oh jeez. Oh gosh. All right.
You try to sneak that shit in there, man.
Whoosh.
Sorry, Hockey Jerk. I tried for you, bud, but you know it's just not going to happen. All right, let's take a look at the standings right now. As far as I know, everybody else has not updated theirs, but the Sharks did win. They are at 92 points with 5 to go. So Anaheim now has 2 games in hand on the Sharks. So definitely need a loss. I believe Anaheim plays tomorrow. Am I correct, guys?
Yes, they are.
All
They are
right.
playing tomorrow.
And
They play the Flames.
they play the Flames. All right. So the Ducks will go to 96 points tomorrow night. And does LA play tomorrow?
I don't think so. I think
No.
Chester said it was either Chester or Daryl who put up the Pacific Division games to watch tomorrow, and it was only Ducks and Flames.
We stand corrected. It's actually. Oh no, that's Wednesday. Yeah, Ducks and Flames on Wednesday. In fact, there's only 3 games on the NHL schedule tomorrow: Ottawa and Winnipeg, Washington and Philly. Gee, Philly on NBCSN, the night you love to hate. What a shock there. And then Calgary at Anaheim. So go Flames, go! For the sake of our sanity.
Hey, they beat the Canucks for us. Or they beat they beat the Coyotes.
And the Flames will take on the Kings on Thursday night at the same time that the Sharks play Vancouver. So, but at the moment right now, they are within 2 points of Anaheim. But they do have 2 games in hand on the Sharks. But LA is at 95. It's a very interesting. If it's those points that we need. So, oh holy hell, guys! It's not rocket science. Wow. All right. Now see. Gen X, I'm going through NHL.com and it doesn't show up like what you have on the tweet that you sent me. So, just summer Donna, okay? Thank you. All right, back to you, Landy.
Wow, it's still 3-1 with 25 seconds left in the third, according to NHL.
Right, and
ESPN.
Yeah, and I think they all run off of the system. So something happened that it's thrown off there a little bit. So, but it is 92 points, and Minnesota won and Colorado lost. So it's getting closer and closer. Like Minnesota's going to grab that second wild card and take on the Central Division winner.
This just in. Chicago Blackhawk blue liner Duncan Keith has a history of dirty plays, and his latest misstep could result in a lengthy suspension.
Yeah, it was really bad. I saw this during the third period tonight. Charlie Coyle, the Minnesota wild forward and former Sharks prospect, body checked Duncan Keith. Duncan Keith was on the ice and almost kind of just whacked him on the face and looked really, really bad. So it could be really bad. I mean, but then again, it's Chicago. I bet he just sits out the rest of the regular season and gets some rest out of it. So really, no harm, no foul for the Blackhawks, of course, right? NHL. But,
yeah. I mean, it's about time that somebody lays down the law for him and sets a precedence with the superstars that they can't just be throwing checks and being really just egregious hits all over the place. I've had enough of this double standard, but hey, it's the NHL, so what's going to change?
Yeah. So AJ mentioning about the stats not updating. The Canucks lost tonight, so their fans probably burned down their ESPN NHL.
Yeah, Sportsnet hasn't updated either. That would be Rogers Sportsnet. They're still saying it's 3-1. So
TSN has, but that's the only one.
TSN's the only one that's updated, and they don't even have the 3 stars. So
yeah, no, I was hoping for this. I wanted to play a game. I wanted to see if we could figure out what terrible picks the Vancouver media made tonight.
Oh, I'm sure Virtanen got a way to get a star or something for his hit.
Like, how can we not give one to a Shark? That always seems to be their methodology.
Yeah, or
give it to Markstrom for his impressive 900 save percentage tonight.
Who was the lone Vancouver goal?
Higgins.
Or Higgins, sorry.
Okay, yeah, he'll get a star. He'll get second star.
Yeah, he'll get second star. Probably Logan Couture first star, and then third star. I don't know, random Canuck.
Who got the assist on that shorthanded goal?
There was no assist. It was Higgins was unassisted on the play.
All right, who got a plus on the ice?
All right, for
Who was in the closest proximity to that?
you have Matt Bartkowski and Chris Higgins were the only ones that were on the plus side tonight.
Well,
So
Bartkowski did have a good game, but knowing them, that means he had like a superstar game, and he's first star, and you know how it goes. I love you, Vancouver. Don't ever change.
Why would we ever change?
Got it.
He got away with
do that again. I dare you. Say it one more time. I dare you.
Make my day.
The call from the fans: stand.
Shut up, Eric.
I loved how NHL.com had a whole little blurb about Wes McCauley and his viral video, and how they were everybody was super enjoying that video blowing up tonight and yesterday.
You know what? Good on Wes McCauley, because I think I heard it on the radio today that you hear about Ed Hockley with his explanations, and love the explanations that Hockley brings on the reviews. But also the other thing too is you gotta play with the moment. There was a flair for the dramatic, and he timed it perfectly.
I said, it's a high emotion game when even the refs are getting really jacked up over it. That was a hell of a game last night.
Yeah, no, it really was. And the other guy that I really like, and some people hate him, but I like his explanations and delivery, is Tim Beal, because I just find it hilarious when he has to hear the rain of boos whenever he makes a call on the ice.
So literally, I guess everything is operated off of the NHL site, because even Yahoo's still saying that there's 26 seconds left in the third.
Yeah, usually there's actually ESPN.com just updated, so it's probably one central stat tracking service or whatever that does all of it, and they all pay for feeds from it. So it just updated on ESPN, so I imagine the rest will probably update soon.
I just got the hat trick points for Logan, so yeah.
I'm just waiting for come on, show me those 3 stars. I want to know while we're still on air here.
Now. Yeah, so the Sharks do go to 92.
So the 3 stars of the night, according to NHL Network, is Steen. Pacioretty is the 2nd star of the night, and the 3 stars is Nazem Kadri for his hat trick against Florida tonight.
Wow, really?
They probably put that together before the game even ended, because East Coast.
Yeah, but Toronto beating Florida is a big deal, though. I mean, Florida is a damn good team, and getting wrecked by Toronto 5-2, that's no easy task.
But then, well, actually, it's just like, of course, it's going to be a Toronto guy and getting his hat trick, getting number 1 star of the night, because after all, it is Toronto. But even then, they're not tanking correctly.
No, they're like 7-2-1 in their last 10, I believe.
Apparently, there's already been rumors circulating that if Edmonton wins the lottery, which I know they will, because why not? That they're going to trade it away to Arizona for Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
No, that was refuted, and I don't see how you can trade a forward for a top 5 offensive defenseman in the league, and he's still so young. You don't just get rid of that. I mean, even if it is for Austin Matthews, I mean, I don't know. I don't see that happening. That's, to me, that's just a stupid trade.
Well, for that sake, let's say Edmonton were to get the number 1 overall pick. Would you trade that number 1 pick for Ekman-Larsson, so that way Arizona gets their Austin Matthews?
I just don't see Arizona doing that, though. I mean, I don't think it's Don Maloney, right? He's the I don't see Maloney trading him for that. I think he understands what he's got in regards to Ekman Larson, and they've got Strome on the horizon. I mean, it's not like they don't have prospects for forwards. You know, if anything, maybe I'm Nashville, or I'm New Jersey, or I'm another, or Carolina, because they've got to replace their top line center, and they've got a glut of young defensemen. But you've got to deal from a position of strength, and defensive depth isn't easy to come by in the NHL. So, you got to talk to either Carolina or New Jersey.
Yeah, it's going to be a little interesting how that goes down, just on the sake of, Arizona's going to try to pull something to see if they can land him.
You know what the end game might be, though, is you might see Shea Weber in an Oilers uniform. And the reason why you might want to target Weber is because he's got a long-term deal that he's locked up to. He's got, they've got him under contract. I don't know if he's probably got a no move or a no trade, so he'd have to waive it to go to Edmonton. But you try and get one of those kind of players, because there's not a lot of free agents that want to go to Edmonton, and your established vets. The only way you're going to get them there is via trade. And so, in my opinion, I think Yakupov is the guy to go this year. It's Yakupov and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for something.
They got to do something. I mean, for the sake of the sanity, they just can't let everything just sit around and go on with your day.
And the reason why I'm saying Weber going to the Oilers is because it's a known fact that Nashville does not like that contract. And the only way that Nashville kept Weber, was matching the offer sheet. They didn't sign him to that contract. That was a contract that Philadelphia drafted, and they just matched it. So, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to try and move him and try and get him off the books, because Nashville doesn't have a large payroll. They don't like having a large payroll. So, it took a very special circumstance for them to keep him, on the team. That David Poile had to basically go to his owner and beg him to pay, Shea Weber, and that was the only way he stayed on.
Yeah.
You mean to say those uber long contracts are a bad idea? I thought only no move clauses were a bad idea.
Oh yeah, because Ryan Getzlaf's 8-year contract is going to look real good here in a couple of years.
Yeah. No, and speaking of Austin Matthews, Gen X makes a point. Why does Arizona need to land Austin? Because of the Arizona thing? Nope. It makes zero difference to fans and teams. However, it is a huge marketing idea that they would be just smothering Arizona over. And to throw in what they got going on youth-wise, they're gonna have Strome next year, along with Duclair and Domi. Something that they could promote royally, I think, wherever they're playing next year, because I don't think it's going to be in Glendale.
I just heard Tempe.
Really, but where are they going to go? I mean, where are they going to build a rink, though?
I have no idea, but I just heard that as a city. Like, apparently they want to stay in Arizona, but
why?
I don't know.
Who would
Arizona.
do that to themselves?
So the deal, I think the deal going forward for them is to try and pair up with the Suns and to get a joint basketball hockey venue built, because the Suns don't like where they're at currently in Phoenix anyways.
Along with since Arizona State has a Division I program as well, they would go in on it as with the deal.
Yeah, so I mean,
in the desert? What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know,
crazy.
right? But kudos to them. They made it. They made it. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, with that, I think we need to wrap this up, especially since we're playing the same team on Thursday night. So let's go
On
around.
Thursday, Pucknology After Dark will be a replay.
No, no, we are going 82 for
Uh,
82.
No, we're just guys replay this episode because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same crap over and over again. Logan Couture will get another Hattie. James Reimer will just stop. I mean, but if James Reimer gets another the thing that we don't talk about, just to forget everything that we said about a week shorthanded goals and everything like that. But yeah, it's gonna be another 3-0 victory with Logan Couture getting all 3 goals.
Why not, Chris?
I think I already said my thoughts, but yeah, I agree with Gentry. I think it'll be a lot like tonight, maybe better. Who knows? So, and we'll have NHL ties on. So,
Oh yes, oh yes. NHL ties will be joining us on Thursday, and it'll be wonderful, wonderful to have. But yeah,
Wow.
We'll see how many. Well, let's put it this way. We'll see how many. Wow, this is interesting. Did you guys get this?
The Colin Campbell with Bob McKenzie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, if you ever thought that the Sharks were getting royally effed by the NHL, take a look at either mine or Puck Guy's last retweet. It's a exchange with Bob McKenzie and Colin Campbell. Yeah, if that doesn't blatantly tell you where the NHL stands with the Sharks, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Sorry for being distracted. But yeah, this is very interesting. Uh, hmm. Let me just kind of go over this. As AJ's saying, are they doing a Hawks a favor by giving Keith a rest? I think so. So going back to from Bob McKenzie to Colin Campbell, that Perry is hell of a player and a dirty bastard. He could play on my team anytime, but if I were playing against him, I'd kill him. That elbow on Chichu was right on the button. If I were Chichu, I would have been asked to be put on the end when Perry was out there, and I would have skated over and plowed my right elbow into his face. Then I would phone you up, say guilty, take my 3 to 5 games with a smile on my face. Colin Campbell to Bob McKenzie, and this was originally put out by Mr. Wyshynski of Yahoo Sports in the Merrick vs. Wyshynski podcast. From Colin Campbell to Bob McKenzie, I told Doug Wine Wilson that after the play, they played them at home, game 80 and 81, or something like that. Quote, why didn't you kill that little shit? Thornton, not Thornton, had him all alone in a scrum and could have drilled him. McKenzie wrote back, if Chichu wasn't an honorable guy, he could have stayed down. Are you sure you can't give Perry a game? Smiley face. Campbell to Bob McKenzie, ran it past our guys and they didn't think they had the same feels for you. Your hate for this guy runs deep. I feel the same way, but I also think he's a pretty good player. I may work on this one a bit. Might at least find him and talk to him before the Detroit series. Then, Anaheim will say, what Boyle going for Perry's head was, or is that just a rough? Or what about Murray cross-checking Ryan in the ribs in Game 5, an intent to injure? We had better be ready for a thorough cleansing of each and every play. Does Wilson's job ever get questioned? Folks, I mean, I don't know where Gen X is saying these came from the Globe and Mail. Folks, I can't see. I mean, I try not to get all crazy here, but this could be a very, very big smoking gun.
this is like WikiLeaks and Hillary's emails or something, man.
I mean,
Yeah, here I'll set the post up for everybody in the chat, but this is pretty crazy. Right here, there's the chat there, and I'll put it in our internal chat. But it is crazy the amount of stuff that they have unearthed.
And guys, if this gets any worse, I mean, we could be looking at some collusion, some questionable thoughts, some questionable comments. Bettman better be prepared because he can't use the game has never been better, as he is known to say over and over again. Oh, by the way, the NHL site is finally updated that the Sharks have won.
Yay!
So
Do we have a
Chris,
3 stars yet?
Here, I'll check it.
go check it. But with that email, I bet the Sharks. AJ saying with that email, I bet the Sharks' travel schedule is much lighter next season. We've always had a concern about Colin Campbell and his blind shooting a dart at a dartboard suspensions. I will say this also. With his son playing in the league, he shouldn't even have a say in Department of Player Safety, which he still does. Personally, if this gets any worse, Colin better resign, and for that matter, Gary better watch his head too, because this could get really ugly really quick, guys.
I mean, I think at this point, I think Colin already needs to resign, because it's clear that he's part of the good old boys club, and he's got that old school hockey mentality. And you know what? I mean, it's just not going to cut it in this day and age.
I'm pretty sure that the result of this email link will that Torres will be suspended 41 games.
41, double or nothing, man. Like, let's go for 82.
Okay.
You ever wondered why the tinfoil hats come out? I think I just need to go get a fitting for a new one.
Well, Gen X, white tin hat. It's just we're just handing them out to everybody now. This is gonna be holy cow. This is gonna be very, very interesting. I can't wait to go over these a lot more. And we'll
On
do them off the
Thursday?
air on Thursday or even beforehand, because this is going to be something that's going to be really interesting. So again, we were actually wrapping this up. So
Did they ever get the 3 stars? I can't find them.
No, it doesn't look like it, so I'll have to laugh about it on the next show.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, Habs first, Higgins second, Couture third. Thank you, Chris Edwards.
Wait. Couture third?
Yeah.
Couture third star. He got a hat trick, but Couture third star.
And Higgins, and I told you guys, Higgins number 2, man.
And Pavelski was number 1?
Pavelski was number 1.
Interesting.
I love that little
get-
weasel, but I mean, that he wasn't the first star tonight.
You know what? He didn't lead the team tonight. He weaseled his way to the number 1
That's
star.
Yeah, he definitely weaseled his way there. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, take us home, Puck guy.
I will. Nick Neff, by the way, we would be facing Anaheim in round 1. I think you also asked if we were to steal the division. At the moment, we would be playing Nashville. That could be Chicago. All right. With that, Sharks win 4-1 over the Vancouver Canucks. They will play the Vancouver Canucks on Thursday night. Back at the Shark Tank at 7:30. Some of us will be back here for the show. Make sure you subscribe down below. Check out Pucknology.net as well for all your happenings. And follow Pucknology on Twitter. And until Thursday night, keep it real, keep it fresh, keep it real fresh. John Shorthouse and the Canucks Radio Network.
Weasel. And
Yeah.
one more mute for. Okay, good night, everybody.